And good evening to you. I'm Marnie Hughes. WNBA star Brittney Griner has been held by Russia for 140 days. The White House says it is doing everything to bring her home safely. Tonight, some are wondering if everything could mean a prisoner swap. And the lawyer for one of the world's most notorious arms dealers wants to make a deal tonight. Brittney Griner, an American, Paul Whelan, also an American, in exchange for his client, known as the Merchant of Death. Viktor Bout is his name. He is a former Soviet military officer who made a fortune off of trafficking weapons around the world, many of them to enemies who want to kill Americans. He is now serving 25 years in federal prison here in the United States. The State Department has not commented on a potential swap, but it would not be the first time this has happened. This April, Moscow released former U.S. Marine Trevor Reed in exchange for a Russian pilot who was jailed on trafficking charges. There is a new sense of urgency for Brittney Griner tonight as well, after she pleaded guilty in a Moscow courtroom to drug possession charges and could face up to 10 years in prison. In a moment, I'm going to be speaking live to the lawyer for Viktor Bout. But first, correspondent Paul Gerke live tonight with more on the prisoner that Russia wants back. Paul.
Good evening, Marnie. The current lawyer of Viktor Bout, the man you're speaking about, Steve Zissou, believes Moscow will be willing to swap his client in exchange for Brittney Griner. But for the Biden administration, the idea of swapping a basketball player caught with a small amount of hashish oil for one of the most reviled international arms dealers in human history may be a pill too bitter to swallow.
Mr. Bout has been referred to as the Merchant of Death and Man of War.
Viktor Bout was apprehended in 2008 in Bangkok, lured into a sting operation led by the Drug Enforcement Administration and the Royal Thai Police. The former Soviet Air Force officer was extradited to the United States, where he was sentenced to 25 years in prison for selling arms to the Colombian rebel group, the FARC.
The judge could have given him as much as life, and he is grateful to her for carefully considering the facts and circumstances of this investigation and prosecution.
Bout is believed to have supplied millions of weapons to militias and terrorist groups around the globe, serving as the inspiration behind Nicolas Cage's character in the 2005 film Lord of War. But his lawyers,
he is innocent,
and the Russian government believe Viktor Bout should be released. Whether a deal will be done for Griner remains to be seen. According to foreign policy expert Dr. Stephen Blank, prisoner exchanges between the United States and Russia are not unprecedented.
There is a lot of pressure on Biden to get Ms. Griner out. She's a celebrity. I don't know what Mr. Bout has left to offer federal authorities after 14 years. So I would not be surprised if ultimately some sort of deal is made.
To this point, Marnie, neither the United States nor Russian government has made any official statement about wanting to exchange Bout for Griner. But there's some talk in Washington that sweetening the deal might get it done. The aforementioned Paul Whelan, who's imprisoned in Russia right now on what the Biden administration believes are drummed-up spying charges, if he is added to the deal, that might be enough to send Bout back to Russia. Marnie?
A lot of speculation tonight, Paul. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.